vest da je umro Sir Paul Judge. Umro je u Londonu i podsjetilo me da je taj čovek učinio jako mnogo da se priznaju diplome studenata koji su završili Cambridge ovde kod nas. Sir Paul Judge mi je dao mogućnost da upoznam malo bliže britansko sudstvo, jer mi je pokazao Old Bailey. Bila sam u mogućnosti da uđem u te sudnice i zato vas podsjećam na taj naš susret u Londonu. Ovo je ulaz u Old Bailey. To je najstariji sud u Velikoj Britaniji. Ovde se sudi za najteže zločine.
The name of this building is the Old Bailey. Bailey means a fortification. And so in about the 11th century, 1,000 years ago, a prison was built into the gate of the wall. And that evolved to become the place where the courts also sat. And then this building itself was constructed about 100 years ago and opened by the King in 1907. Welcome to the Central Criminal Court,
My God.
the world's most famous criminal court, where we have many famous cases, from Crippen to Ruth Ellis to all sorts of people. We used to hang people here until 1902. We had public hangings until 1868.
But now we are in 2014.
Here we are, and we've moved on.
Good.
But I'm very fortunate. I'm the sheriff of the City of London.
In Serbia, you say sheriff. You always have a kind of a Western films. What is a sheriff of London? What it is exactly?
Well, the sheriff you are talking about, Wyatt Earp and people like that,
Yeah.
they're a very, very new invention of the sheriff. We go back to the 9th century, and we were the king's representatives in the various shires. It's the shire reeve. And since 1132, the sheriffs of London have been elected. We're the only sheriffs who are elected. But King Henry I was running out of money, as monarchs did in those days. So he did a deal with the City of London so that the sheriffs of London could be elected. And so I was elected last year, Midsummer Day, by the citizens of London.
When you became a sheriff of London, look, you got all this apartment. This is where you live?
This is where I live
you
during
got
the
the
week.
Apartment during
Yes.
the week? How many days you're staying here?
Well, I normally stay here 3 or 4 nights a week because most evenings I have a dinner because we have 110 livery companies. And one of the roles of the sheriffs is to encourage those livery companies. And they are charitable organizations. And it sounds rather presumptuous, but we are actually the royalty of the city. So when we go somewhere, we are the important people and we process into the dinners and we're treated very well.
Sir Paul, I know you're important. Who will give you, in the heart of the town, such a luxury apartment?
Well, this is a very nice,
Yeah,
very
okay.
nice.
I'm going to
yes.
after you, okay?
Yes, well, this is my personal effect, but this you might be interested in. You might be interested in this. This is my badge.
Odmah da vam kažemo da šerif Londona ima i svoga butlera, kao u stara vremena.
I'll serve tea to the sheriff, I'll look after his guests, I'll prepare his clothes.
Today, is it a profession being called butler?
Well,
Still exist?
Yes, it's still a title, still a job.
Yeah. And Sean has been with the Old Bailey for 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
30 years?
Yes.
You saw many.
He's seen
Many,
everything.
many
He's
sheriffs.
seen everything. Many sheriffs have passed by. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
He prepares you like this.
Yes.
When? For which occasion he dresses you like this?
Well, we wear this scarlet gown, which has got sable fur in public. So whenever we go in a public event, and I wear the badge for most events in the city. And we have another gown, a violet gown, which we wear for private things like council meetings and things like that. And there's the hat with the gloves, and that's it. So I'm now properly dressed.
Yeah. In fact, you are representing the Queen.
This is one of the historic courts of the Old Bailey, and normally in here there would be a serious case of murder, of rape, or armed robbery, because this is the main court of the United Kingdom for those things. So the judge would be sitting up there under the royal crest. Here is the jury. Next year is the 800th anniversary of Magna Carta, which was when the King John agreed that nobody should be imprisoned unless their peers agreed. And from that evolved the jury system. Then here we have the lawyers, the prosecution and the defense, and often there are solicitors behind them and maybe other people. Up there is the public gallery, and there, behind the glass, will be the defendant.
Is anybody there down there now during this interview?
There are people downstairs, yes. But we don't have people overnight here normally. Defendants go back to their own prison. That's how it works. And a typical case takes several weeks because nowadays there's so much more evidence than there was in the old days. In this historic room, we have the coats of arms of all the former sheriffs going back hundreds of years. And you can see them here coming along. And then we have the judges in their wigs. These are the senior judges, the recorders of London, who are the senior resident judges. And we can see more coats of arms and more recorders. My role is to look after Her Majesty's judges. And so we have lunch twice a week with them, and we make sure that everything is working well for them.
Are you supervising them?
We don't supervise their decisions because they're independent. And obviously the British legal system, it's very, very important that the judges are completely independent.
Ovdje sedimo na mestima gdje sede advokati. Pitam Sir Paul Judge-a, šta je potrebno ovdje u Velikoj Britaniji da bi neko bio sudija?
And they've all been barristers, lawyers, for probably 20 years. And they become something called a Queen's Counsel, which is the senior level of barrister. And then at probably the age of 50 or so, they apply to become a judge. So they've all seen everything there is. You know, they spent 20 years either prosecuting or defending, normally doing both. They know all the tricks of the trade. They know what victims will say, they know what defendants will say. But they are completely independent. Once appointed, other than if there's something incredibly ridiculous about them, they are there until the age of 70.
Ovdje sede sudije koje prave pauzu u Old Baileyu. Suđenja su duga, naporna, postati sudija ovdje u Velikoj Britaniji. Sve mora da se zna, sve se provere. Vodi računa i o tome kako ste se ponašali dok ste išli u osnovnu školu.
Well, there's a Judicial Appointments Commission that does that, which is a group of judges who look at who should be promoted to become a judge. And there is an intermediate stage, which is called a recorder, where they practice being a judge for maybe 3 or 4 weeks and see how they get on, and they're appraised and all of that. But once appointed, our system is fiercely independent. Now, if somebody doesn't like what a judge does or decides, they can go to the Court of Appeal, a separate group of judges. But here, because we deal with the most serious cases, we get about an 80% conviction rate. A few percentage where the jury can't agree, and some people who are let off. But normally, because we're dealing with the serious cases, the Crown Prosecution Service doesn't bring the cases forward unless they're pretty certain that they will win.
Sir Paul Judge privlači moju pažnju naravno kao londonski šerif, to je vrlo veliko zvanje ovdje. On je predsjednik Britansko-Srpske privredne komore. What would be your, if I may say, instructions to the people in Serbia to start a business and to export to Great Britain, for example?
Well, the Serbian people are very enterprising themselves, and they're happy to start a business. But they need the government to support it, to make it easy to start a business. And there's a lot of bureaucracy that needs to be taken away. A lot of Serbian economy is still run by the government. Most Western countries now have privatized those things. And one of the key messages of the current government is to privatize a lot of the businesses. And that will be good for us because the British, we know a lot about privatization. We have a lot of companies who would love to buy your railways or your bus stations or your whatever it is. And we have a lot of advisors who can help the government to make it work.
This is your home.
Yes, it is. I've lived here for 15 years on the River Thames in Pimlico, in London, in Westminster.
How do you feel when you're on the 18th floor overlooking London?
It's beautiful views. We can see right round from Canary Wharf right round to Heathrow Airport. And this is where we can have a big Serbian party here tonight.
From my heart, strange that you were strong enough to even make a start. You'll never find the peace of mind if you listen to your heart. People, you can never change the way they feel. Better let them do just what they will, for they will if you let them steal.
Ovih dana održan je Svetski kongres hiperbarične medicine. Takav kongres održava se svake 3 godine. Do ove godine Miodrag Zarić bio je predsjednik tog kongresa i upravo ovdje u Beogradu svoju funkciju predao je svojoj koleginici iz Brazila. Ima jako mnogo mišljenja o hiperbaričnoj komori. Nedavno je, tamo negde predno 10 godina, ta vrsta medicine je naširoko prihvaćena. Još uvek ljudi imaju otpore kada inženjeri uđu u medicinu.
Pre 3 godine u Buenos Airesu, kad sam ja izabran za predsjednika, postojali su baš takvi otpori, to od vrlo ozbiljnih ljudi. Su rekli da to ne može. Kako može da bude predsjednik Svetske medicinske asocijacije, neko ko nije lekar? Da tako nešto nije bilo. I onda su napravili presedan, Amerikanci su iznali svoj stav o tome i pitali su, kaže, znaš ko je tamo 90. neke godine dobio Nobelovu nagradu za medicinu? Ovo je stao, pa kaže, 2 inženjera. I onda su stvari da tu nema, tu oštre granice nema, ne može medicina da radi bez inženjera, jer toliko ima sada novih aparata, novih metoda, nove sve, to je jako povezano. Ti inženjeri ne mogu da rade bez svih podataka koje dobijaju od lekara, tako da je to jedna simbioze, oni su zajedno i samo zajedno mogu da dođu do najvećih rezultata.
Kada ste ušli u ovu granu medicine, da li ste bili svesni da ulazite u nešto potpuno novo na ovim prostorima?
Pa nije novo na ovim prostorima, ja sam to znao s ovih prostora. Prvo iz Splita, pa onda iz Zemuna, iz Zemunske bolnice. To je rađeno, ali je rađeno sa malim mogućnostima, malim tehničkim mogućnostima. Ja sam ušao s tom namerom da dam veće tehničke mogućnosti, onda i lečenje u trenutku kad nam je to trebalo. Kad je našoj zemlji trebalo, to je trenutak početka rata. Kada je bilo mnogo ratnih povreda, kada je bilo mnogo amputacija zbog ratnih povreda. I onda je to neki moj mali doprinos bio što sam u tom trenutku uzeo da razvijam tu granu medicine kod nas.
Koliko imate centara sada?
Sad imam 3.
Gde se oni nalaze?
2 u Beogradu, jedan je u Kliničkom centru Srbije, drugi je u Ortopedskoj bolnici na Banjici i jedan je u Vrnjačkoj banji.
What is your practical experience in this part of the medicine? Where this can help, the machine can help? Where?
Well, first of all, this machine, the chamber, it's the only way that can raise oxygen tension in the blood more than 10 times the normal. And it's in a very, very safe measure, very safe. It's one of the most safest medical procedure. Now, This amount of oxygen, which is 10 times the normal, is a very essential in very wide medical fields. All kinds of those fields that the endpoint of the pathology is lack of oxygen in the tissue. So we have the way to bring a lot of oxygen to this particle pathology in the tissue in a very, very safe way.
The rationale of the treatment is absolutely logical because we survive out of oxygen, and when oxygen is not enough, there are problems. And so we have a way to put oxygen where it is needed. It's one of the ways, not all the ways, not the only one, but one of the important ways. This is slowly being recognized. In Europe, the European Committee for Hyperbaric Medicine set standards and guidelines, and it was accepted by the European Union. Many universities, for example in Belgium, in Germany, in France and in Italy and in Spain, offer already specialization and master courses in diving hyperbaric medicine. This is a recognized specialty, essentially in the area of intensive care and surgery in some other areas. So I would say the situation is getting better and better. But we need to be very serious, very scientifically oriented, very precise in what we are proposing and doing. Belgrade should be recognized as one of the cradles of hyperbaric medicine. You have people like before the fragmentation, you had people like Nikola de Kleva and Strasimir Gojovic, who were the founding fathers of this discipline. And still what they did and do and published is referral for many of us. And also in 1993-94, the first postgraduate specialization or sub-specialization school started in this country, which is still active. So you have a history to honor. Keep on going.
In fact, this kind of a medicine is a miracle for everybody who has a problem in diving and after they come out and they have a problem.
We know the perfect mechanisms how the hyperbaric oxygen and increased pressure can be used to treat different diseases. This is true that we are using this to treat divers, but this is also true that we are treating a lot of other clinical indications, like for example, carbon monoxide intoxication, iatrogenic gas embolism, or non-healing wounds. And in fact, in all those indications, we are using the medicine which is based on physiological data and on clinical evidences. That's why we are not treating nowadays that hyperbaric medicine is a kind of the miracle. If the diver is going too fast to the surface, it's a problem mostly related with the gas bubbles. And those gas bubbles which can be created somewhere in body, in brain, spinal cord, muscles, joints, they can create symptoms of decompression sickness. And in such cases, a fast recompression in the hyperbaric chamber definitely improves the state and can be treated as a life-threatening method. And that's why, in most of the cases, if diver is immediately put back inside the hyperbaric chamber, it gives a so-called miracle treatment, which is the immediate release from the sickness.
Europe did recognize hyperbaric medicine as a part of the medicine finally.
Yes, for many years we are collecting data concerning clinical indications which can be treated inside the hyperbaric chamber. And nowadays we are not relying on our opinions, even if we treat that we are experts and we know most of the data, we are relying on statistics and we are relying on so-called clinical evidences. And every several years we are meeting all together and analyzing the data which is coming from the medical world, and then we are employing a new list of clinical indications which can be improved with this kind of the treatment.
I heard that if I want to stay young, if I want to have a lovely skin, that I have to enter into the hyperbaric, this cell, and then if I do it regularly, it is like I was on the mountain, resting, doing nothing, and I will look fresh. Is it true?
Not really. I know that we try to always to say that oxygen is doing everything for the best. It is quite easy to show that if you do not have oxygen, you will die immediately, because oxygen is a vital part, a vital molecule of the world. But the other opposite side is not virtually true. So means too much of oxygen doesn't mean you will get better. Let's look on the candle. If you put the candle in the oxygen-rich atmosphere, it will burn faster. We have to remember that oxygen induces also a stress, oxidative stress, which is not always positive. It means that oxygen in high doses, like we are using in the hyperbaric chamber, is a drug. So it has positive effects. Unfortunately, it has also side effects. So it must be prescribed by the physician, and it should not be overused. That's why we should not use the oxygen for cosmetic purposes. This is not the case.
Kada sam dobila jedno pismo od gospodina Negoslava Točilovca i kada mi je rekao da on skuplja autograme, ja sam se setila jedne činjenice, a to je da obično deca, kada vide poznatog glumca, dođu i zatraže mu autogram. Međutim, pored pisma postojala je i jedna ovakva knjiga koja je privukla moju pažnju, na kojoj piše Filografija u Srbiji, specijalizovan katalog za autograme. Prelistala sam ovu knjigu i shvatila da je to jedan vrlo ozbiljan posao. Koliko vi sakupljate dugo autograme?
Pa, autogram jedno 20 godina.
20 godina.
A inače sam pre toga bavio filatelijom i kartofilijom. To je jedno 30-40 godina ima prilike. Ali uglavnom, hodajući po svijetu prema službi koju sam obavljao, onda sam imao kontakata sa ljudima koji se tim bave i zainteresovalo me.
Kažete da ste sretali puno ljudi. Gde ste vi, gospodine Točilovac, radili ranije?
Radio sam u Ministarstvu inostranih poslova. Na službama sam bio u Vašingtonu, u Njujorku, u Buenos Airesu, u Limi, Peru i u Madridu.
Baš ste bili.
Dobro je bilo. Ima ovdje jedan dekret koji je potpisao kralj Aleksandar I. To je isto tako interesantno.
Da, to je na Bledu 1933. godine. Kraljevina Jugoslavije, Ministarstvo građevina. To je to, je tako?
Ali to su dekreti o unapređenjima, o postavljenjima koje je tada overavao kralj, za takva visoka mjesta.
Da li se potpisi po svojoj vrednosti razlikuju? Da li su na dokumentu ili je kada priđete nekom glumcu da vam samo da autogram?
To je ogromna razlika.
U čemu je razlika?
Razlika u tome što ako je dokument potpisao, recimo u ovom slučaju kralj, on ima svoju drugačiju vrijednost, veću vrijednost nego recimo dokument koji je potpisao neki ministar. Ovo je jedno pismo koje Milan Stojadinović kao predsjednik vlade 15. januara 1939. godine poslao svome poslaniku u Albaniji.
Da. I?
Jankoviću.
Da.
U kome ga opoziva sa dužnosti ambasada, odnosno poslanika. U to doba je to bilo poslanika.
Da vidimo kako on to radi. Da vidimo. Gospodine poslaniče, čast mi je izvestiti vas da ću usled neodložive potrebe morati uskoro da izvršim izvesne promjene u predstavništvima na strani. Usled tih promjena bit ću prisiljen da raspolažem i položajem kraljevskog poslanika u Tirani koji vi danas zauzimate. To mu kaže?
Da.
Da. Piše gospodinu Radoju Jankoviću, kraljevskom poslaniku u Tirani.
Da.
Mora da ga one raspoložilo.
Aha, pa dobro. Taj Rade Janković je posebna istorija.
Je li pravilno postupio?
Ne znam da li je to pravilno postupio, to ne znam sigurno. Ali sigurno da Janković to nije zaslužio. Janković je bio na Solunskom frontu, Janković, dobro.
Vi ste mi rekli u pripremama za ovu emisiju da vi imate želju da neki naši ljudi uđu u te svetske kataloge.
Jeste.
Koji potpis najviše vredi što se tiče naših ljudi?
Što se tiče naših ljudi, za sada je najjači potpis Nikole Tesle.
Jel ga vi imate?
Dobro, ja imam, ali sam ga poklonio sinu i prema tome nemam ga kod sebe.
Je li to lep poklon?
Pa to je ipak lep poklon.
Koji su još ljudi koji vrede?
Dobro je Pupin, recimo Pupin, zatim Ivo Andrić, onda kralj Petar I, kralj Aleksandar, isto tako kralj Aleksandar Obrenović, recimo 200 evra. Je fotografija koja je sa Titovim potpisom.
Stvarno?
Jeste. Milunka Savić.
Da.
To je vrlo interesantno.
Prerušeno muškarca učestvovao u Balkanskom i svetskom ratu, odlikovan na najvišim odlikovanjima.
Evo, tu ima sve čim je odlikovana i tako dalje.
I šta imamo ovdje kod nje?
Jednu molbu kojom traži zaposlenje za...
Da pročitamo to? Učtivo molim ministarstvo da me izvoli zaposliti kao poslužiteljku u samom ministarstvu za koji sam posao sposobna i koji će posao savjesno vršiti i nadam se da će me ministarstvo zaposliti kao invalidkinju i bivšeg dobrovoljca. Uvek isto. Uvek isto. Ništa
Istorija se ponavlja.
Se uvek ponavlja.
Da. I sad tu su preporuke, vidjet ćete dole.
Je li je pomoglo to?
Imao sam jedan drugi dokument, isti takav, gdje je rečeno nema u budžetu sredstava.
To piše?
Da.
Uvek isto?
Da.
To je Nedić?
Nedić, da. I okupaciona vlada.
Okupaciona vlada?
Da.
Pa tu stvarno imamo potpise svih.
Da. To je vrlo rijetko, teško naći.
Gde vi to držite?
A to se drži, zna se gdje se drži.
U sefovima?
Pa da bome.
Naravno, u sefovima. Jel mi cenimo našu prošlost, gospodine Točinjevac?
Slabo.
Zašto smo tako?
Zašto?
Pa zašto?
Šta ja znam. Da vam kažem, ja sam sada bio na sajmu knjiga.
Da.
I ponao sam 10 ovih knjiga da poklonim nekome kome ja mislim da poklonim.
Da.
Verovali ili ne, da nisam našao skoro nikoga ko zna šta je filografija. Bilo je Ministarstvo kulture, razgovarao sam tamo. Kažem, da li vi... Oni su ponudili imaju svoje nešto kulturnoj baštini i tako. Ja sam rekao, dobro, hvala, lepo, ja ovo uzimam. Da li vi znate šta je? Kažem, ne, devojka neka šta je, nemam pojma. Rekao, evo vam pa ćete se upoznati.
Evo ga potpis. Nušić.
Ko vrata, što kažu.
Kako kažu, ko vrata?
Pa vidite kako vam to...
Potpis ko vrata, Nušić i Borislav Stanković.
Borislav Stanković, ovdje je kompletna njegova koštana.
Ja sam donela vama neka 2 potpisa koje ja imam.
Dobro, da vidim.
Ali nisam kolekcionar.
Bićete.
Biću. A vi ćete da mi kažete da li to vredi. Ja ovdje imam posvetu, Grama Grina. Vredi.
Pogotovo na njegovom delu.
Da.
To je jako ceni.
Eto da vidite što još imam. Posvetu.
Da vidimo.
Meni od Gabriela Garcia Marquez. Mogu da krenem ja vašim putem? Da krenem ja?
Možete. Nikad nije kasno. Evo, otvaram put.
Jel otvarate put?
Jeste, ja otvaram put.